Hello, I'm John Latham, president of Latham High-Tech Seeds in Alexander, Iowa, and I wish I was there with you today, but this is the next best thing. My speech today is entitled Challenges in the Corn Industry in a Free Trade Environment. And I'm very pleased to have met A.D. Alvarez. Thank you for the invite today, A.D. A.D. came to our facility here a couple years ago and was part of the World Food Prize, and really great to meet A.D. and be able to keep in touch with him over the last couple years. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Latham High-Tech Seeds and some of the challenges we have in the seed business in the United States. So first of all, Latham High-Tech Seeds, we're located in Alexander, Iowa, north central Iowa, and we do business in the north central, upper Midwest states. You can see Wisconsin, Iowa, Minnesota, Nebraska, and North and South Dakota. So we do business all the way to the Canadian border. This is the Latham marketing area, those states that we do business in. And then our company, I'm proud to be a third generation owner in the seed business. My wife Shannon Latham and my brother Chris Latham are owners too, and also third generation. This is our facility in the background. So our business started with my grandfather back in 1947. He was a farmer in the area, and there was oat smut in our area, and he bought a cleaner and went around cleaning oats in the area back in the late 40s is when we started. And then we changed our focus in the 60s and 70s to soybeans. My dad and uncles came back in the business. This is my dad, Bill Latham, my uncles Tom and Don Latham. And then we changed the business again, and we added corn hybrids to the market in 2004 and started the brand Latham High-Tech Hybrids. So this is an overview. You can see we're family owned since 1947. We have independent technology options. That's a great thing for us being an independent seed company. We have products that are specific to geographic regions. That's how we can compete with the big guys, because we're looking for products maybe in northwest Iowa where they're looking for a product that works all across the United States. So that's how we can perform, and I'll show you how we've performed over the last several years. And then one thing that we're known for is our quality. That goes back to my grandfather's days. So here's kind of the timeline of Latham High-Tech Seeds and some of the changes we made over the years. We were founded in 1947 by my grandfather, Willard Latham. My dad came back to the business in the late 60s and started our soybean breeding program in 1968. And then we started our dealer organization in 1977, and in fact some of those dealers are with us yet today. And then we started Latham Corn Hybrids in 2004. We market in 6 states altogether, and we sell corn, soybeans, alfalfa, and cover crops. This is our corn product team. This is a team we've got that live in each one of the states that we do business in, and they are choosing products in each one of those states. And part of the reason why we've had so much success over the last couple years. These are the states we do business in, I mentioned before. And then we're proud to have 172 wins in the first trials. Now the first trials is an independent trial. We give the seed to them, they plant it in the ground for us, and then we go up against the top competitors in the seed business altogether. And so for us, as a family-owned independent company, to win 172 times, we're really proud of that. So this is give you a little bit of an overview, the next few slides, of the U.S. corn industry, and then I'm going to talk about some of the challenges that we face in the United States. So here's the U.S. corn at a glance. You can see we had almost 90 million acres. This is 2019 numbers. 81.5 million acres harvested, 13.7 million bushels produced altogether. That's the value of $52 billion altogether, and our average corn price is $3.85, maybe we're pushing $4 right now. This goes to show where some of the corn is used by segment. You can see the majority, well I shouldn't say the majority, but a big share of it, 39%, is feed and residual. This DDGs is part of ethanol. You can see exports is almost 13%, and I'll show you where some of that's going here in a second. Ethanol is a huge percent, almost 30% altogether, and then some other uses. High fructose corn syrup, sweeteners, starch, cereal, beverages, and then seed also. Where's the corn going around the world? You can see we exported a great deal, and I showed you in that previous slide. The corn is going to Mexico, Japan, Colombia, South Korea, and Canada are the top 5 export countries for the United States. Where is ethanol going? This is the top 5 countries for ethanol. Brazil, Canada, India, EU, South Korea, and number 6 is the Philippines. So actually, if you took the EU and separated it into countries, the Philippines would be in the top 5. So we appreciate your business very much. This is corn used for ethanol and DDG production. You can see we really ramped up here about 12 years ago, the ethanol industry. And since then, over the last 10 years, we really kind of flattened out. We'd love to see it expand again, but we're happy to be where we're at. Ethanol, it's really added some value to corn production. Here's U.S. corn prices. You can see historically we're at historically high prices after ethanol first ramped up. We were up to almost $7. It was a real boom time. And then since then, it's really leveled off. It's been difficult for corn producers to make ends meet when corn is $3 or below sometimes. We're starting to see it ramp back up again, which is good. You can see this kind of shows the corn, soybean, the national acres planted, and then this is the pricing in January of each year. And you can see this really shows that corn and soybean acres are determined more by corn pricing and led by corn. In 2007, you can see here, 2007, soybeans increased by 9% in pricing, but corn was up 62% in price. So corn acres really jumped that year. Here is USA, the biotech acres, and biotech events on the corn side is huge. And you can see 8% is non-biotech, so that means 92% has some sort of biotech event in it. 80% is a stack trait. 9% is herbicide tolerant, 3% is insect resistant. But overall, the vast majority of farmers really see benefit to the stack traits and are really helping with things like weed resistance. And on the corn side of things, we're reducing corn borer, rootworm, different pests that have really infected corn over the last 20 years or more. These are some of the major corn trait options we've seen in the seed industry. You can see Smart Stacks, Chrome, Agrisure, Enlist. These are all from 4 of the major providers in the seed industry. This is what the seed industry has looked like historically on the biotech side of things. You can see Monsanto, Syngenta, Dow, DuPont, Bayer, BASF are kind of the big 6. We've seen a lot of mergers and acquisitions over the last several years that have changed the industry. So this is what it did look like, and then this is what it looks like today. You can see after the mergers, Bayer and Monsanto merged together. BASF, ChemChina bought Syngenta, and then Dow DuPont merged together to form Corteva. So we've really seen a consolidation in the seed industry, which is good for some. Maybe it's better for these companies, but it isn't always good for seed companies that rely on these companies, and then farmers as well. It can be difficult. These are some of the main seed brands that you see in the United States that we compete against. So this is some of the challenges that we see in the corn industry. This is not only from my perspective as a seed company owner, but also from farmers' perspective. We have a lot of the same challenges. Access to genetics is always a challenge, especially for us. And then where we're having fewer companies, it makes it tougher and tougher to get access to top quality genetics. A lot of times that biotech trait goes along with the genetics anymore. The cost dynamics, not only for seed companies like ourselves, but also for farmers, is difficult. Economies to scale for farmers. Farmers are getting so much bigger all the time, growing at an exponential rate. Owners are limiting the sale outside the United States. I would love to be able to export seed to the Philippines and other places, but many times the owner of the trait that we pay royalties to prevents us from selling outside the United States. So here's some of the seed corn costs. This is some of the bigger cost of production that we are under. Obviously the cost of the corn itself and the corn production. Genetic royalties is a bigger part, and I'll talk about that here in a second. The trait royalties is big, and then seed treatment is always something that we have to pay for. So we've seen corn genetic royalties really rise over the last several years. We're seeing, used to be maybe $8 to $10 for a bag of corn on seed corn genetics back 20 years ago. Now we're seeing $30 up to $60 a unit. So it's really increasing, which makes it difficult for farmers and seed companies as well. trait costs remain high, anywhere from $50 to $200 per seed unit. That's on top of the genetics. So you got the genetic and the trait royalty. So, farmers see benefit, but certainly the companies have to get a return on the investment as well, and so those prices continue to rise. So this is just a fictitious example. Don't take too much to heart, but thought it was a good overall example. This is the cost of corn, the production overall. So we may have $40 as an example to produce the seed itself. Genetic royalties may be $45 for some really good new genetics. And then maybe an average trait royalty would cost $100. And so your average total maybe is $185. And this is just a rough example, not of any certain technology or any specific genetics. But you can see $185, that's just base cost before we have any of our own costs into it. So it gets very expensive very quick. And so people wonder, why does seed corn cost so much? Well, this is a great part of the reason. So with that gives you some of the overview of the seed company, both from our perspective, the U.S. seed industry. I wish I could entertain questions from you today, but if you do have questions, go to our website. I'd love to. You can email me at johnl@lathamseeds.com. I'd love to talk to you there, or talk to A.D. Alvarez. I can communicate with him through Facebook Messenger, and he can get a question. I can get an answer to you as soon as possible. So thank you so much for the invite today. I really appreciate it. Hope you have a great conference, and we'll talk to you again soon. Thank you.